The last legendary fruit we need to master is the lightning fruit, and besides mastering it, we will also have to awaken it, since it has an awakening. But before thinking about awakening it, I will first unlock all its abilities, which will take a while because the last ability requires 250 mastery. The first ability, we unleash a dragon lightning. It's not very pretty because it's not awakened yet, but it's a good attack, especially because it hits in an area. And by defeating this enemy, we have already unlocked the locomotion, which is simply a teleportation, and it is unique. You use it once and you will have to wait for the ability to come back. It's not the best locomotion available, but it will end up helping you. By defeating these two enemies, we will unlock one more ability, and the ability that costs 90 mastery. Unleash a thunder from the sky. In fact, there are several thunders that hit the enemy. In my case, I ended up missing because I was too far from both. But if I get a little closer, we will be able to hit him easily. It also deals very strong damage. I came to defeat the enemy under the castle, and simply put, the second ability doesn't hit here. The ability ends up hitting all the enemies up there and does not pass through this concrete here to hit this enemy. So down here, I only have one ability. But let me do a test first, because here in the castle there is still the castle ceiling. So if we end up using an ability in here, the ability also doesn't work because it ends up hitting up there. So in the end, I really only have one ability to use. Release the second to last ability, and this one took a while to release, but as soon as we release it, we unleash a mega thunder from the sky. This ability is indeed beautiful. Imagine when awakened. Now the big problem will be to release the last ability, because it costs 250 mastery and it's not easy to release. I released last ability of our fruit and it cost 250 mastery, and it took a lot of work for us to end up releasing it. But it is supposed to be the strongest ability we have. Using it on our enemy, we unleash a mega thunder. Actually, we create a giant ball. With this ball, we throw it at the enemy, which creates a mega thunder. And it's a gigantic explosion. This attack caused over 4,000 damage. Although it is a strong ability, it takes a long time to recharge before we can use it again. Now that we have finished mastering it, we can awaken it. And this will be the longest process because we will have to awaken 5 attacks from a single fruit. And to make the first ride, I will spin a fruit for us to use up. It will be the smoke fruit. This is a very difficult ride to do alone. For this reason, I will use my main account to utilize the Buddha. And maybe this way, we can successfully complete this ride. However, somehow I will have to hide so the enemy can't hit us and defeat our character. Even with the help of my main account, I can barely finish the raid. For some reason, this raid is very difficult. But the first ability to unlock costs 500 fragments, and we have already unlocked the first one. There are only 4 left. On the second attempt, it was a bit easier because I think I'm getting used to the raid. And this one costs 2,000 fragments, and we will have unlocked the movement. Another ability successfully unlocked, and this one will cost exactly 3,000 fragments. It's a very expensive ability, but it will get even more expensive in the next ones. The second to last ability has now been unlocked, and it will cost 4,000 fragments for us to unlock. But after this ability, there is only one more ability left for us to fully awaken the fruit. And this one will be our last awakened ability, and the most expensive ability, because it costs 5,000 fragments, but it will also be the most powerful ability we will have. And I will take advantage of this pirate raid to test our abilities. And the first ability, dragon, but much more beautiful and with more damage. Our next ability would be the movement, which used to be a single teleport. What has changed this time is that we have 3 teleports to end up using. After we use 3 teleports, we have to wait for the charge to return in order to use it again. And the 3 teleports help a lot more than just one, because you can go further and do other things. Now the third ability that deals damage, when we end up using it, we unleash a bunch of thunder. This time it goes a little faster. The penultimate ability was just a thunder that fell from the sky and hit the enemy. And it will be the same thing, but this time with much more strength and more damage. Besides the attack, it's 1,000 times more beautiful. And the most awaited attack is the strongest attack and the one that costs the most fragment for us to awaken. This Mega Thunderball, which deals a lot of damage and goes much faster than the old one. Speed at which we can throw this ball very fast. And this one is a good fruit if you want to do PvP or simply test it. Nah, order. The next fruit would be the Gravity Fruit, and it won't have an awakening, but we can master it. And it will be our first mythical fruit. But before eating it, I will spin for a fruit to test our luck, and the fruit that came is the ice fruit. But what really matters is the gravity fruit, since we will eat it and fully master it. It won't be an easy fruit to master because its abilities are a bit complicated. We manipulate gravity, but the first attack already hits in an area. With just the first attack, we will already be able to hit and defeat both enemies. And we unlock the second ability, which is movement. And something interesting about this movement is that if you are in the air, you cannot use it. You need to be on some solid ground to pull this piece of earth, end up using it. It's not a very fast ability, but it helps. Unlock the ability that requires Mastery Saint, and when we use it, we increase all the gravity around us and put pressure on the enemy. The good thing about this attack is that we end up pressing our enemy against the ground and almost sink. Our ability now is to deal interesting damage because it is the second strongest ability of our fruit. And when we use it, we release only one meteor. I thought we would use several at once. It's not a bad or ugly ability, but I expected a little more because it's an ability that costs 200 mastery, so I thought it would be a bit better. By defeating these two enemies, we will be able to unlock our last ability of the gravity fruit, and it is supposed to be the strongest ability of our fruit. I came to a more open place so we could test and see how good this ability is, and testing here on all the enemies, actually I ended up aiming wrong and forgot to hit him. This time, by hitting our enemy, he can deal more than 6,000 damage. This is because we didn't hit all the attack. What changes from the previous ability is that we release more meteors than usual. It's a good fruit. The only problem is that it's not that great for leveling up. We mastered our first mythical fruit, but if we look here in our inventory, we still lack many fruits. Not only to master, but also to have, we need leopard kitsune, a dragon. And for that, we will have to make some trades. Or we can test our luck by getting fruits to see if we can get a mythical fruit. And in this case, didn't succeed. And I will spin for fruits on other accounts to see if I can also get the mythical fruit so I don't have to trade all the time. In this case, it also went wrong. These were the two best fruits I managed to get for trading, and the best fruit I can get with them is the quake. So I will get the quake to make another trade to obtain a mythical fruit. This here is the best offer I can make to get the mammoth fruit, and I will give 3 fruits to get just 1 mythical fruit. And even after this trade, there will still be 3 more fruits missing if I'm not mistaken. After a long time, I managed to gather some fruits to make the trade, and I got the most expensive fruit, or one of the most expensive. Because the kitsune is still missing, the only problem is that I have never gotten kitsune in my life. So I will probably have to give away a game pass to get it. With these fruits in my inventory, we can already start mastering.